Rolling up, I'm feeling fly, yeah, I'm so damn fresh. Got that platinum grill, blinging in the chest. Diamonds in my mouth, shining when I speak. That umbrella guy, flossing speaking geek. Ice on my teeth, I'm dripping so hard. Platinum grills, I'm the king of the boulevard. Throwing money in the club, making haters mad. I'm the baddest in the game, no one gets a pass. Ooh yeah. Crushing all these lines, yeah, I feel fly. Rolling on the dubs, that umbrella guy. Iced out pro on the boulevard. You ain't a comic gangster, don't be playing hard. Ice on my teeth, I'm flying so high. Dropping the bass, that umbrella guy. One grill to rule them all, one grill to bind them. Baby, I'm so iced out, gonna blind them. Rolling in town, I'm an army of one. Doing verbal walk-bys, blazing like the sun. Riding in my whip, crushing false accusers. Dropping off the bass on the real abusers. Yeah. Living life fast, no time for the slow. Justice on my mind, stacking up on that flow. Life in the fast lane, no time to blink. Ice on my teeth, watch it when I speak. Chillin' on my rhymes, never missing a beat. Ice on my teeth, yeah, I'm living that sweet. That umbrella guy, bringing the platinum heat. Crushing every hater, no time for defeat. Ooh yeah.
Oh yeah, indeed. Man, what's up? We're gonna have a special tonight, sir. In the house is Jeremy Hales. How's it going, brother?
You know what? It's very peaceful in Ohio. I live in a great neighborhood with great neighbors. I love it. So it's been really good. Really good.
I love that shirt, by the way, man.
Oh, you like that?
Shorts. Yeah. Have you seen the police Warner brother? Yes.
I found this in a storage unit this week. And I love it.
I wondered where that came from. You know, I saw it on that one short. I was like, heck yeah.
I went, this is just perfect. It's from a storage unit. Yep. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Hey, I saw something. I wanted to ask you about it. I thought it'd be good. We could ask about this live. I thought this would be an interesting discussion. So your post, I'm going to pull it up here, right?
Okay.
Your post talking about, well, give me 1 second. Here it is. Talking about the lawsuit, being dismissed, and Well, I noticed two things on here. So I noticed a little statement here about a flea and telling somebody if they don't show up on a live, there would be consequences. And and I noticed this right here too. Somebody asked, well, she's on vacation, so says Toothless Wally. And you're like, yeah, that's not right. She blocked her and more. So I thought we could just talk about that live ourselves for a couple of minutes.
Well, I'll try and answer your questions. I do want to share that we're going to get in way more depth tomorrow night on our live stream. But I think the most important thing is for people to realize when they're being blatantly lied to. And I've never known a flea to tell the truth. I've never known a walrus to tell the truth. I've never known a walrus to tell the truth. And so I can clearly 100% share with everybody that Lips is not on vacation. And that is a complete and total lie. Lips isn't gone taking care of family issues. That is another complete and total lie by the flea walrus herself. And I don't mind sharing with you, as I've already alluded to it in that post, that the head flea has threatened Lips as well. And now, I don't mind sharing with you that there are hundreds, we're talking hundreds of text messages, email messages, incriminating messages with the head flea giving direction and talking points to the rest of the anti-what-the-hales ecosystem.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Oh, you don't even know yet. You can't even comprehend yet what is going on and what is happening. Now, just because, and I'll boldly share this with everybody, and we're going to dig into it, myself and George, tomorrow night even more. Just because a lawsuit has been dismissed, which number one was frivolous, It was meritless. And you now have Vomit publicly posting, calling Lips weak, amongst other things.
That's amazing. I have that with me, actually. Let me pull that up. I thought, wow, man, that is something else here. Yeah.
Wow.
He said, Leslie Federigo's has had enough. She dropped the lawsuit against Jeremy et al. Even left him a groveling email. That is true, by the way. I did read that, you know.
Do you see? This is supposed to be her friend.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is the
calls her
way her
weak.
friends treat her. This is how her friends teach her. Now, you want my take on this? He's scared because he knows what she has.
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah.
and if she has it, do I have it? He's scared, and he should be extremely scared right now.
Oh, yeah. They should be afraid of everything because, you know, one thing he's right about, there's the et al. You know, Jeremy Hales, of course, they came after you as the tip of the spear, you know, obviously, but they decided they would try to go after everybody. And, you know, I've been pretty vocal in that too. I'm like, you know, you better turn over everything. And I want a few other things too. So, you know, otherwise there will be consequences. And you've been very vocal about there will be consequences too. I thought this was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, even he's like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I interrupted you on the groveling. I apologize. There's just so much and so much,
it's
to be said.
But too, you know, you're like, ooh, yeah.
Like, I can't believe this is how her friend is treating her. I can't believe that. Now, if this is what her friend does, what do you think is going to happen with me?
That's true. Well, you know what? Actually, I mean, you've been the same person the whole time. It's kind of like the stuff we see with Preston right now. You know, I make no qualm about who I am, what I think about the case. I don't lie to them about who it is, but they did. They pretended they were pro all these people, you know, whether it's a Preston, whether it's a Lips, whomever. They pretend that until they're not useful, and then they throw them aside and, you know, they stomp all over them. Like I said, you've been very consistent from day one. You were like, yo, leave me alone, go away, you know, cover the case if you want, whatever. Just don't try to wreck my business, you know? I mean, geez.
Don't break the law.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody, the reality is, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care if you love me. I don't care if you hate me. Now, there are people that I care about. That would be George, that would be Christian and Patience and Pepper, and that would be Deanna, and that would be, there's so many more. But the average viewer out there, you can either love me or love to hate me. Don't break the law. And my goodness, how many laws Lips has broken. Tremendous amount of laws that she has broken, and we're going to get into that so deep. But even Vomit in his post is calling Fleesa a liar. He's straight up saying Fleesa's lying to you. Why would you ever listen to Fleesa? Here's the truth. She left a groveling email and removed all social media. And if you can't stand the heat, don't get in the kitchen. Vomit is telling you Fleesa is a fat liar.
Well, that's also interesting considering, you know, he's like, don't get in, you know, if you can't stand the heat, don't eat in the kitchen. And yet, when you look at the letter that she sent to you, she was like, you know, I was wrongfully attached because of that guy over there. So it seems like he's decided, not only to cut ties, but they're gonna bury her. So maybe her smart choice is comply with every single thing that somebody requests.
Now, I'm not publicly stating yet that this is the individual from the ecosystem that's come forward.
Sure.
I have publicly stated that MLS, Making Liable Simple, David Helm, came forward asking for a deal. That deal was rejected. I want to be very clear that deal was rejected, and he clearly stated he had enough to put everybody away. Well, we didn't need it. We have everything as it is already. But wait until you hear tomorrow night what she has on these
Oh
people.
my God, man. That by itself, that one little tidbit that, well, I'm going to take this at least as about her, because again, this was about the lawsuit voluntarily being dismissed and an individual being threatened. Again, you didn't say that specifically it was, but that's how I took it because of, I know somebody runs a show, and if she doesn't show up on the live, there will be consequences.
Well, I'm going to straight up tell you, Fleesa has threatened Lips, stating if she does not show up on her live streams, there will be consequences. And not only that, it's in writing.
Oh my God, man.
Oh boy, Tug, this is nothing. This is nothing in regards to what's coming down the pipeline for Fleesa. What's in writing. This is nothing.
This amazing, man. You talk about when these people implode, they implode spectacularly. That's got to feel, at least like some vindication there, because exactly what's right. A lot of people know, but even the ecosystem viewership now is seeing what's been truthful.
Oh my goodness. I mean, boy, the things I could tell you, from the gloating of Fleesa makes anywhere from $800 to $2,000 a night, and the promise of money and fame to Lips and to everybody else in the ecosystem, gloating, promoting that they want the money, they want the fame. My goodness, if you can even imagine. And George and I are going to get into it much, much more detail tomorrow in regards to what's happening. And I want to be very clear. It's not over. It will not be over until I win. What they have done to me, what they have done to George, what they have done to the people we love who work in our businesses alongside of us, who, while they may not be blood, they are a part of the What the Hales family. It is completely and totally horrific. And I will not stop until justice is served. And I don't care if it's an old man who flees in a vehicle away from a process server and then cries online about the blue painter's tape on his fence. Or if it's a flea that can't even get out of her own vehicle because she's stuck in a truck. They will all be brought to justice. And I can't. Tug, you've already seen in some recent cases a civil matter turning into criminal charges.
Oh, yeah.
If you can even begin to wrap your mind around the criminal charges that are coming for these people from this civil lawsuit, mind-boggling.
I mean, this thing, like, people have no idea how insane it is. Like when you start breaking away the layers of it, you start putting it together. Like I've started keeping, first of all, the complexity. I've started keeping a tree of connections. And God, man, I could see it breaking into some truly heavy consequences for these people.
Oh, huge, and it's all everything from fraudulent fundraising to the tortoise interference. I mean, it's just all going to be unpacked and uncovered in court. And the judge has been very clear in federal court. This is moving forward. It is going forward.
Yeah, he already said that. That's the game, that somehow in some way they think delay actions and telling people publicly, no, this isn't reality, that's somehow going to change that.
And now you got a 350-pound moron hiding still. Here's the funniest part. They wanna get online and go, I'm not served. They want to gloat and promote, I haven't been served. And yet they are living in a self-induced prison that they've brought onto themselves instead of manning up. There's an individual, 350 pounds, claiming that he grew a set, and yet he's still hiding every day. If he had a set, he would have done the same thing I did when a fraudulent lawsuit was brought against me, waived service, and said, bring it on.
Yep. Indeed. Indeed, you stepped in there. That was hilarious. I was like, man, I wasn't even added to the to the digital service. I was like, come on, add me. I want to play. serve me now. No, but yeah, it's funny. Actually, I was reading that last order, in fact, in the Fed, the second Fed case, and when you read about it, dodging service is it's kind of a problem. People
Huge
don't
problem.
seem to understand it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't just allow a added timeline, it allows a lot more too. So where they're going on and they're bragging about how they do this stuff, they've been loading it up for you and loading it up for your lawyer, Randy. Man, they give you gifts, sir.
Yeah, and having to alter their entire lives. For example, one of the things that Dodgy Robbie does is he goes to the Webster Flea Market every Monday, and then he begs for food for the animals. Well, guess where he hasn't been going for the past couple months? The flea market, because he's dodging service. I wonder what's happening to the animals then. Are they being fed appropriately? I mean, what's going on? The self-induced prison is what they've done. You got a 350-pound moron, complete and total moron, clueless, brainless, gloating that he hasn't been served, begging to have a Whopper, as if he would even come out of his house to go get a Whopper, and thinking somehow he's not going to be in court. He is absolutely 100% going to be in court, and he's going to be held accountable.
Even the people in court, man. I mean, bankruptcy. Come on. Taking $6,000 from donors who said, hey, here's a lawyer. I was even shocked. Were you surprised by that? Again, not by they would do something shady, but the whole plan was bankruptcy.
So we actually contemplated that beforehand. So we as we strategically plan, we go, well, this could be route one, another route to cut that off. We'll go here to here to here to get to the end goal. And so that did not shock me. Now, $6,000 for a bankruptcy, that shocks me, because nobody pays $6,000 for a bankruptcy when you have nothing. I mean, the paperwork is nothing. Even then, lied on her paperwork. And so what I believe to have happened is that $6,000, we now see there's a $1,000 bounty for information that has already been supplied. And so where'd that $1,000 come from? Oh, that's right. It's from the people who were taken advantage from and gave the $6,000, who were lied to, stating that was going to be used for a federal judge in Florida.
I want my $1,000, by the way. It's very easy. Sign say what? Those have been discussed. They were discussed in Ohio and other places. So right there by itself, that would meet the criteria. I want my grant.
Not to mention all the postings online as well. I mean, we have so many. We have videos. So many. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous how many we have. But tomorrow night we're videos. Oh my goodness, the videos. You've got videos from TC, and if those are, you guys are thinking, who's TC? That's Busted Can of Biscuits.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about.
You have videos from Busted Can of Biscuits of them saying the exact same things. I mean, the insanity to go, I'm going to give you $1,000 when everybody knows it's out there already. And it's not even his money, but claiming it's his money when it was grifted. And if you want my take on it, that's theft by deception. And it will be explored in court as well. I can't even begin to outline how much criminal activity has happened in this civil case. And I can't wait for the jury and the judge to take action to move forward on all of these freaks, these fools who don't have enough in their own lives to live for, that they have to try and attack somebody else's life and livelihood. And that's what Lips did. 100%. That's what Lips did. And she will be held 100% accountable.
I've never had
I don't want to get too much into it until tomorrow.
No problem, man. I get that for tomorrow. Tomorrow sounds like it's going to be a big one. Actually, next week, to be honest. I think for myself too, it's going to be a big one. So I'm sure on your stage, it's going to be, an epic one. Oh man. And that's one of those big turning points. You had somebody they brought in, they wanted to shop to ruin you. And look how things turned out. Now they've ran. They tried to give cover for them. And, well, like I said, you've got a lot to show for it tomorrow.
And I will share this with the individual that has come forward. Some demands have been met and other demands have not. And I'll leave it at that because we're going to cover some of that tomorrow night. You have a great stream tonight, Tug. Appreciate it, man.
All right, brother. See you, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Man, what news. Look at that. Now that's some busting out news. Tomorrow, you got to make sure to tune in. See, I wanted to know. I wanted to ask, instead of dancing around the question and everything else, I thought it would be good. First of all, we had this post, like Jeremy was alluding to. And between the post I'm going to pull up here from Volmit and give me 1 second. Let me pull this up here. Between this post, which I'll read all of it now. I wanted to make sure to get in enough time to talk to Jeremy. Man, you could see the excitement, the exuberance in that. I was like, dude, you want to come on and just, like I said, talk about. He was like, well, I'm going to have a stream tomorrow. I was like, come on and mention that, dude, for sure. You know, that's big now. Like, this is a big one. And you're talking about a reversal of fortune here, to the point these people, they don't know which way to go anymore. You have one saying, hey, everybody's on vacation. You know, that's not a big deal. She just decided she was going to go on her way for right now, to even the other side of it. You have Volmit here that's contradicting that story. Like, he's calling her out too. He's calling her weak. I mean, imagine that. He's loading up on her and calling her weak. This is, again, I want to read his statement, and I want to read that email. Now, one of the things that came across too, one of the things that I think should be asked for Jeremy tomorrow. Make sure that you guys super chat, support, do all of that stuff, and ask him tomorrow how many letters and messages were sent in from Lips. Like, how much stuff she ended up sending. Because one of the talking points that they've tried to cling to, and I'm going to wreck this right now, one of the 2L talking points that they've tried to pull up to say, oh, you know, Jeremy was setting her up. That's why she's gone quiet too. Yeah, Jeremy wasn't making contact with her. She never stopped making contact with people. Ever. It wasn't just public messages, to make this clear. It was private messages. It was emails. Even when people would block, like Jay said, even when he blocked her out, she never stopped writing people, never stopped making threats and demands. It was absolute insanity. Now you have them again. They're doing their about face. So within the last few months, they've gone from, man, look at this new player, to Leslie Federico's has had enough. She dropped the lawsuit against Jeremy Hales et al. And even left him a groveling email. She had a meritorious lawsuit since Hales and his crew did falsely claim she was a disbarred lawyer. Yeah, no, she actually does not have any type of merit. If she thought that she did, she would have stuck with it. But this has been her game plan all the time. And I think they thought that this would work somehow. They got on the bragging tip. I'm sure that they talked about money. You know, he's going to be an easy payday. That's what so many of these clowns actually thought at the end of the day. And the problem is, it's like running into an unmovable object. You know, it's like running into a freaking brick wall. Only this brick wall, it fights back too. You know, it's like a brick wall with teeth. You know, and that's something that they've never encountered there. So for them to say that they thought that they had some merit, that it was going to be a meritorious lawsuit, what a joke. It never was. But now they are free to attack her at will. Yes, I will make sure it is not attacking, by the way. I want people to understand that the clown that went out and they disparaged, they decided to talk all types of smack. Again, in legal documentation, with, like, for myself, wanted to also throw my real name in there. Like, you're going to intimidate me with it. Come on. Are you kidding me? But she did try. She thought that stuff would be a good way to go. So, I think that there, 1 second there. Yeah. 1 second there. I was situating something. I've got a raider trying to come up. I'm like, no. Let's not right this minute, maybe in a little bit, but not right this moment. But with this, I want to be clear on something too. I'm very serious about litigation. I'm very serious with it. I am not. I've not ever gone that route before with somebody. But this person, again, they wanted to lean on me and try to intimidate me. I do not. It's not just for me. They'll do it to other people. They will continue to do it down the line. They have talked about, and to be honest, their husband either is a patsy or is complicit in this too. And that is a problem. That is a huge problem. These people, they never decided they would ever reach out to. They never even talked to me. But they decided to throw me in litigation, talk smack, remove me, make the world think that somehow, in some way, I had communications and we had made some sort of a deal. I mean, are you kidding me? I swear, I don't have enough middle fingers to meet that. But then to threaten and to say over and over again, they could add me for 2 years and then add me back on a whim, talking about going on all these shows, trying to do damage, talking about how they're going to do it. And, again, it probably works with, actually, I do know it's worked with other people out there. I know it's worked in the past. I've seen the posts. I actually dug through the past of people that they did this to before and then dropped lawsuit on. But yeah, I mean, he's right on we are free to talk about her before, we are free to before this, but now, oh yeah, there's a problem. She decided to go with vexatious litigation. She decided to make open threats about it. She made tons of videos and, again, plenty of live stream content. She thought that she would build a career off the backs of other folks. Again, I don't care what you think. Like Jeremy said, I've said this many times. I don't care if you like or dislike. That's not the point here. The point was dragging me into a case, threatening me repeatedly, and then thinking, well, since I didn't actually serve you, you're not going to do anything. Not that you can't. You can do something, but that you won't. It's amazing. Again, they're used to playing with people and their lives where they can do that. Tomorrow's going to be off the freaking chain. But let's read the rest of this too. Check this out here. So, she's even removed all of her social media presence. That's weird. I thought she just took them down so she could go on vacation. That's so bizarre. Huh. Isn't that the way you folks understood that? I thought the ecosystem was telling us that she was out there. Oh my goodness, what an idiot. Oh, I made some funnies for today too. Then we have to remind me, don't let me forget about the wonderful stuff that I made for today. Oh my God, I got some good stuff. But it's a weak way to go. So she's weak. She's weak. This guy knows, by the way, that she is mentally disturbed. He knows. These people could see her unraveling real time, unspooling her mentality. I can only imagine what was going on behind the scenes. And they weren't like, hey, you need to go and breathe and pause and get it together. Maybe using dozens of false accounts and all of this, maybe that's not healthy. Maybe you need to do a reality check. Maybe ground yourself. Maybe this isn't the thing for you. No, they didn't do that. They thought that she would be the perfect weapon, just like other mentally unhinged people out there. And unfortunately, that's not an excuse for her either. In fact, that behavior actually brought about, again, we haven't talked about a lot of stuff that came up. We haven't talked about Baker Act, first marriage. We haven't talked about the results of that. What exactly happened there? We didn't talk about some of the more interesting lawsuits that she brought against companies and decided, again, as placeholders. She had somebody try to serve her, and they made a police report. They made a complaint because they said that the children there, they were not being observed. There was nobody around or anything else. So she decided to sue over that lawsuit. We never covered that. I mean, there's plenty of wonderful things to cover out there. So yeah, I mean, again, I think those have merit to cover too. But this person, again, they wanted to aim all of that here. And they expect just to walk away, and it's suddenly be, no way, man. It does not work that way. I think I made it very clear. If you want some, then you'll get some. I think I said, if you want to focus and fixate on me, then I will spend a lot of time. I have a lot of free time now. Have a lot of show time, have a lot of time to fill. So why not fill it in a wonderful way that way? Why not fill it in a way that's helpful and at the same time, takes all takers. But anyway, he's telling her, it's a weak way to go out. But if you can't stand the heat, don't go into the kitchen. Now, this is actually, to me, this is a disclosure of sorts too. You know what this tells me? This tells me that he's saying that she knew exactly what she was getting into. Because she said over and over again that she had no idea what she was being walked into. So which one of you is a liar? Which one? Is it old Vomit, old Darth Touch, or is it you, Lips? Which one? I'm curious because Lips, again, she says, and we'll pull this up in a minute, but she says that she was misled. She had no idea. He had gotten her involved in something. She couldn't understand. And then, of course, he tries to shop an old freaking interview. This is not a new interview, by the way. This is the hilarious tidbit too. Now that they've lost their little buddy there, their little what they figured would be their attack dog, they're still going to use her, even though she says that she's out. Like, what that tells me too is they think that she's turned as well, because they're already going in and they're doubling down on not just the discussion, the damage control, but also monetization with it. Now, remember, all the time, lawsuit and more, she has always gone with a narrative, though, that does not run with what he just said there. That letter that she said, I'm gonna pull that up again. This is the whiny letter. Remember, he says that she wrote a whiny letter that she was begging. Well, yeah, she did. We read it the other day. Now this has become a very important one, in fact, because this was I want out. I want out, please. She probably thinks, Leslie, I know you pay attention to all this. You probably think, since Jeremy Hales was the only person that you served, that he's the only person that has a case against you. But you are wrong. In fact, you are really wrong. There is more than one way to come after that. When you go and you decide, again, you didn't just bring a case. You decided to brag about it openly. You've bragged in the past that you open cases as placeholders. Essentially, you defame people and you allow it to sit there. Instead of a decision that says whether or not, you use the case itself as a search. It's some kind of optimization tool for you. You figure, hey, if I put this name out there and I attach it to this, I can wreck them. Okay, well, you admitted that live, unfortunately. You admitted it in videos that you were doing that in court before, too, which is pretty wild. But then, I mean, can you imagine? By the way, Leslie, you think other people's content, oh my God, you could whine about? Could you imagine playing a couple of those videos she created? Could you imagine playing the revenge prawn, which she decided that she would distribute to others? You know, the thing that had been banned off of this platform. Can you imagine the response that a jury would have to that thing? Like her expression. And then if she's like, oh, I didn't have anything to do with anything like that. Well, not only she defended, but man, how many of those freaking videos that she put together, those insane videos, by the way, do you think it would take for a jury to be like, this is crazy? How do you think a jury would take to the fact that she made those kind of videos about her own mother? Yeah, she does this on the regular. She sued her own family and she sent the same type of videos to them about them. How do you think that would go over? Those are the kind of things maybe she should think about. She 100% does not get to walk away, man. Jeremy, man, I cannot wait for tomorrow. I mean, again, there's going to be some amazing stuff on the horizon. Those videos were insane. Yes. Yes. That if you see, I didn't watch those videos at first. The Hodunk Hillbilly ones, I did not see them at first. I've seen plenty of like stupid, you know, oh, that umbrella guy, hate him. Who cares, man? You know, but I'd seen plenty of, you know, oh, Jeremy Hales, blah, 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 you know, but I didn't realize how unhinged her videos were. I also didn't realize that here's another thing. I don't know if has actually been brought up to Hales or not, but when she was going and she was, she used, okay, for Talentville, I've been researching that account more. If you don't know about Talentville, by the way, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, the way we found out that she was behind all of those crazy videos and everything else was because of this specific account that she had. All right. Now that account, interestingly enough, that account, it had been given a quote unquote award, you know, because of a show, because of screenwriting she was supposed to do. Now, why did she get that? Well, looking into that, those accounts, they pay. She was using a business account. She had defamation to that level hooked up not only for Jeremy, but for anybody else that followed or anything else. She had those videos hooked not to a private account, but to a business account in her name. Because that very much is what she was doing there. She was shopping around a script. She was bragging about how she had won awards for it and everything else too. So that takes it to a different level. And I think if she really, maybe not even her, if her husband really thought about what was there, if not her, if they both thought, what would that do to a lawyer's licensure, for example? And if all of this insanity were hooked up, what if while that was going on and people were being harassed, and what if we found out that she was doing work behind the scenes, even though she was, well, she retired in lieu of discipline. Let's go with that. That's the best way to say. How would that go over? So again, you know, at 100% they should have to deal with Jeremy, but to think they can just ignore everything else, they think no one else has a case. Oh, you are mistaken. You are very mistaken. There have been some interesting conversations so far, and not with her. I mean, again, I made it very clear. I said what I want, you know, but she just thinks she ghosts and walks. No, ma'am. And also for her husband, no, sir. Again, either your name was used or you were complicit. Either way, you decided that you would do damage, and you all just drop a case and walk. I mean, they were like, No, we're not gonna do an apology. Or no, you're not gonna. You're definitely you're gonna dance for it, or we'll go to court and you'll dance there, one or the other. And I'm sure they don't want to pay the money either. They had trouble paying the filing fees. Like that's one thing that struck me too. They had trouble paying those filing fees. Do you think if you can't pay the filing fee that you should be wanting to pick a fight like that? Probably not. That goes for the whole ecosystem, really. These people are begging money out of just regular folks so they can threaten people over nonsense. And they want to bring bullshit lawsuits like this. So let's read this real quick. Let's go through this, though, with the context that we have added now. Hello, Jeremy. Michael, the husband, the lawyer, is not allowed to respond directly to you when you have an attorney. However, I viewed your email and will respond as a non-attorney. All YouTube channels have been deleted. I wanted nothing to do with anything that is going on. I have never made money from any social media, YouTube, etc. Actually, again, you did get awards, though, from the accounts. By your own words, again, just to break this down, that's why I mentioned this for Talentville. You may have not made money, but you made business decision, you shopped around script, and you did it on the back of trying to ruin other people. So, I mean, you decide. You decide if it's worth that there. Because she's playing that, saying, I didn't make anything off of it. Did you cost anything? That's the question, too, maybe you should ask. I was wrongfully attached. Now, this is the important part where they have a very interesting disagreement in the ecosystem right now. I was wrongfully attached after Michael Volpe requested to do an interview when I have no audience and was told it was merely because I was a retired attorney. Now, she still wants to play the victim, too. You ain't the fucking victim in this, lady. You wanted a fight. You opened up websites. You can bullshit. Like I said, this is one reason I will not accept some half-ass. I will, first of all, walk away, no. Surrender, Some half-ass apology, no. You don't get to play the victim in this. Nobody victimized you, lady. You decided to jump in both feet into something that you know is jacked up. And especially after we're hearing threats behind the scenes and more. Wow. That's something else, isn't it? I'm sure we'll get a really interesting answer. I'm sure the damage control of this, it'll be amazing. Oh, by the way, let me show you something real fast before I forget about this. So I'm sure you heard about the Canadian flea thing, right? Did you all hear about that? So the other day, there was a Canadian flea mystery brought up, where the name was brought up, but I was like, nobody talked to a Canadian flea. So I was curious about it. I was curious about the case of the Canadian flea. I was like, man, we need to look into this. Now, right away, things got really crazy because, right off the bat, you could get on the case and you could find the Canadian flea. The fleas, man, there's a certain flea. I don't know if it was Canadian or not, but definitely found a monster flea. Now, when I was looking at that flea too, strange things started happening. At first, I thought it was morphing. I saw a turtle and I thought, oh no, it's morphing. But no, it was a flea. It had grabbed a turtle. It was running with it. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Things have gotten scary and strange. I mean, after all, there's been a lot weird. Look at that. I tried to give chase. Man, the case of the Canadian flea. But of course, couldn't keep up with that. So later on, I heard about something terrible happening. I was like, I wonder what's going on. I heard about a turtle being found in the old big city. So I went out to investigate. Now, the first thing I noticed, of course, when investigating it were little footprints. Notice those little footprints with the chunk outline of the turtle. Man. And look, I found a note. There was 56K written on it. Scratched out underneath it said only 18K. That sounds like a clue, right? Looking around, found something else too. Found a ecosystem cruise line ticket. Now, of course, from there, I had to, give me 1 minute here. Now, from there, I had to follow the clues, because, of course, in following the clues, it's very important that you keep up with what's going on. So I had to follow the clues. Here, this is a live video of that. I was like, let's see if I can follow those clues. Checking them out. I was following and straight to a dumpster. Look at that, man. Look, the footprints go in there. It's all the signs. I mean, there's somebody living rent-free in the dumpster, And of course, you can say something about the abodes, but hey, I'm a supermodel. I don't know what that means, though, but whatever. Let's get back to our pictures here now. In checking that out, we found plenty of strange things. Let's see, where's that at? We found all kinds of excitement in there. I mean, checking it out, man, one of the things, found video. There was a cruise line video. In that cruise line video, look at this. Gosh, there was a giant flea, there was a turtle, and there was an older lady, and something happened. Now, I'm not really sure, but things get crazy. The flea picks her up and woof, just over. It's like, 56K. I like how the footprints go into the TV. Now, this is the way I imagine that it needs to go from there. Now, I'm not saying it has, but of course, fleas sometimes. Like if you were to follow them back, I'm sure you could find maybe other people. I'm just saying, not saying that have, but I'm saying maybe, just maybe, 56K, that might not be the only one. Maybe some po-po get involved. I wonder how hard it would be to bring a flea to justice, Now, of course, that would have its benefits too, because, of course, the flea, they would go pro se, They would take the stand in their defense, and I'm sure along with all of that, they would tell you some wonderful stuff. They would tell you things like, I'm a supermodel. Okay. Yes, I was curious about the Canadian flea. I did have to bring that up. Canadian fleas, baby. Oh my God! Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Oh man, isn't that beautiful? Oh, I made one other thing too. So the game that I was talking about the other day. The turtle game. So check this out. One other thing, and then we will go back. I'm sorry, just have to do this. So look, it's kind of like Hungry Hippo, right? The graining, by the way, is the picture. That is not you. If you look at it, you're like, what's that graining from? But look at it and check it out. See, you have it's kind of like Hungry Hippo, like I said, right? See, playing it here. You have 4 turtles, but you should have like long legs with them. At least one, possibly another one, and they look how happy and stuff they look. But with the hands, I mean, they can actually pretend to be friends and hold hands. Or when they reach out for the money, that they're duly owned, like $56,000, another one can reach in and smack at it, wha-pow, and smack it in the face. See, perfect game. Reminds me of some real life stuff. See, wouldn't that be the perfect game there? You could actually have replaceable pieces. Those Canadian fleas are huge. I know, man. I know. This needs to be a real game. I really need this. I do. I really need it. You notice the money in the front and everything. Okay, let's get back to the letter. Then we'll laugh some more about the game. Oh, well, you should see some of the pictures that came up with in making that one. I love that. I have another idea for a game too. Okay, so like I said, in the letter, she throws it out that Volpe, again, he's the one who caused this. She wanted to play the victim here. She wanted to say, oh, she was cyberbullied and horrible stuff. I attempted to be neutral by reaching out to Megan. She tries to throw Megan Fox in again. See, this is the thing. I think Megan has, Megan is away by now. Right now, of course. She's been dealing with some stuff that's going on, but she will be back. And I have been in communication with Megan, and I'm sure that we will have one hell of a live stream Monday talking about everything that's going on with all of this. But one thing I would note, Megan, she has the same mentality I do. You've seen her posts there. So those, by the way, are her own thing, without any communication beforehand. She was already popping that stuff off. But I did get to communicate with her after the fact. Oh, she's very dedicated to the fact that these people, like I said, they wanted to set fire to her reputation. They wanted to join up with somebody that has decided to attack her repeatedly. Somebody that they decided doxing her family would be okay. By the way, the thing that Lips leaves out of all of this too, and the thing that you need to remember very well in all of this story, is the fact that she didn't just come into this and talk about something. She decided when she wanted to go after certain people, she wanted to add them to litigation. What she did is dox people. She said that it was part of her lawsuit. That's what they used. The entire ecosystem used it. In fact, after that, many threats were made publicly, and I'm sure if there are public threats, I'm sure there were private threats as well. These people, they don't operate in one way like that. They also, she took aim at folks like, again, Ania, for example. Like, that was a main one. She decided, even after pulling stuff down, until the last second, she left off stuff about that specific person. She wanted to target them. She decided to target them for the world to see. But she did this, took all kinds of fucks. I'm not convinced she's left until as many anonymous accounts that she was running. Here's the thing. I'm going to let something out of the bag. She's on the run. Leslie, you know how I knew all the accounts that you were using? Because you're so vain and egotistical that you like your own comments. Any account that you would run, you would go in and you would like the comments of. So your dummy accounts that you would use and park, well, you could tell you would bring them on every few days. Even if they weren't posting, you would be watching things through them. And you could tell because you could see the activity from them, because you could see when they liked things. And all you had to do was look, because she didn't like anybody else's content. She only liked hers, ever. When she would post something from that account, she would like it. If she would post something from an anonymous account, she wouldn't like any other account, but she'd like hers. And those accounts, when they would admit to be hers, you could just watch it. And after a while, it's like, whoa, all she does is like her own material. So anything that ends up with a like on it from one of her sock accounts, that was her. No mistake. Now, I'm not saying they were limited to that. Give me 1 second. But it was a dead giveaway. I sat in and charted so many accounts because of that behavior. Like I said, she did not like other accounts. And it was amazing to watch. I would think, well, maybe somebody else is running this account here. Oh, no. No, not at all. Not at all there, Oh, the spinning's already getting started. Oh my God. The damage control tonight is going to be amazing, man. It's going to be off the freaking chain. These idiots, dude, they have walked themselves into one hell of a hole. They have a problem here. their problem is this. Either they have decided to fundraise more on the word of a liar, or worse, or much worse. They've either decided to recruit in people that are liars and more, or worse. Well, which way does it? I haven't, again, I'm curious to hear everything tomorrow. Jeremy, when he had said something about that he would end up, like I said, I reached out. I wanted to ask a question, because I wanted clarification on a couple of things that have been stated. I was curious. He does not. He's good about playing things the best. And I don't ask questions that get into litigation or anything strategy wise. Like I said, none of that should be talked about. When you get into that level, you have issues. But as far as statements about lips particularly, that interests me because she added me to litigation. So stuff I wouldn't typically reach out and ask, I would definitely ask with lips involved, because again, she decided that she would do all of this madness and add me into it as well. So anyway, she says that I was defamed about my professional status. This is her retirement status. Why is that, lips, by the way? Is that because, one of the things she kept saying over and over again was that she's planning on, going back and being a lawyer. I wonder, is that your plan, lips? Curious. I wonder if that's an answer we'll find something out about. Tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow will be off the chain. So everybody needs to make sure that they watch tomorrow. I will be there, eyes glued on it. I may not live stream tomorrow. I've gone all week, so I might actually take the day off. I'm not sure yet. I may live stream before there, a few hours before. I'm not sure. Today I was going to go over. Today the plan was, you'll notice that I changed the thumbnail and I changed the title, because I ended up looking at the Volpe thing. I ended up looking at some of the statements that have been added with Hales as far as lips are concerned. And then, well, I found out a few other things. So that made all of this. I was like, whoa, this is pretty big news. The idea of hundreds of freaking email. I mean, my Lord, But she said, I'm willing to drop the lawsuit if everyone would please stop misrepresenting my retirement status. First of all, there was no agreement with you whatsoever about dropping a lawsuit. Like I said, I had never misrepresented your retirement status once. I said that you retired in lieu of discipline. Just like you wanted to drop a lawsuit because you thought you would lose. It's the same damn thing. It's in lieu of the discipline, baby. So I've been pretty clear on that, but it's a redonkulous argument anyway that she had tried to make. Oh, by the way, folks, I appreciate all of you. I put this together rather quickly on the stream, so I do appreciate you all showing up tonight. She thought, this was so weird, though. Throwing her family under the bus is so bizarre. I'm not about money, never was. I came from money, walked away from it with my own family. So she throws her family under the bus. Again, these are the same people she tried to sue and everything else. Isn't that bizarre? I reached out to you previously, trying to help you remember roots and God you came from. That, by the way, maybe Monday, I'll tell Megan we need to read that letter again. That letter is nuts, too. There is nothing more for me to say. I do not hate you nor wish harm on you. Bullshit, lady. You tried to do as much harm as you could. You made it clear. You compared the man to the devil, to Charles Manson, all of this stuff. But you don't hate the person. You don't wish harm on them. When you other people, when you go out of the way, again, you don't have to like people, but when you other them for crowds of thousands like they try to do, they try to not call you a like a scammer, or they try to make you an ist or a phobe. You know, the reason they tried to make Jeremy Hales a target and say that political groups wouldn't like him, LGBT wouldn't like him, that he was a racist because of the shirt that he wears. The reason you do that is because in our society today, it doesn't just ruin your business. It can take your life. It will motivate people to do horrible things. It makes you an unperson. You know, it others you. People no longer see you as a human being. They see you as an other. They see you as that label. And that label means anyone can do anything to you. So that's what this lady, she joined in on doing that. And some of those videos and stuff are crazy. They are freaking crazy. Oh, but I'm the same age as you, with many similarities. We both have adult children who reject us. Now, it's crazy to bring up his kid again, and especially to bring him up like in your situation. I mean, like I said, it's very weird that you would bring up all of that. You would dance around the subject. I mean, she never talked about what that meant. She likes to throw that in, and nobody ever brought it up too. And it was because we weren't trying to cause any harm to people she's gone after, you know, but she keeps throwing this stuff in there. You know, if you look back, you can find a crazy bread, like, I mean, not crumbs. You can find where breadcrumbs are left by some, you can find supermarkets in the wake of this lady. I mean, the stuff that she did and she left behind is wild, you know. But we have parents who reject us. Again, she sued some of them. Some of the things that she said in the past, some of the stuff I ran across that was open before she deleted it. Oh my God, dude. Like from old accounts, like you start searching her name. I think she forgot how many sock accounts she has out there. She had so many fake accounts in the past. Remember, by the way, I've had to explain this a few times to people. When I say a sock account, I'm talking about a sock puppet. Remember, it's just like you're putting a sock puppet over your hand. You know, it's not a real person. They just slip that thing on and go to town, you know, pretending that it's real. Well, we both have parents who reject us. We are both born in the same year, 1977. You know what that says, by the way? They've dug into your life quite a bit. You know, they start talking about your birth year and everything else. You know, the other thing that she kind of casually omits, you remember her website? Remember that site that contained the background check that was so much garbage that it put Hale's name in with certain types of offenders and more? Yeah. And all those other people too. I'm going to say too, if I have to go the litigation route, I am definitely going to contact everybody that was on that list. I think I will. So if she decides that, you know, that's a game she wants to play on, I'm going to contact all of these people that she defamed with that thing. And when I asked, I'm going to tell them exactly who this person was. I'm going to tell them that they have wishes to potentially pursue a license again, as indicated on live streams. That way, if it ever pops back up, it may motivate people. Because, you know, this person, if they do plan on going that, God forbid they ever really actually pull that off. And again, it didn't even matter if they had their own. They were working either in conjunction with the husband or they were using his either way. You know, it doesn't matter how they got to it. They were doing it. And they did a lot of damage with that stuff. So I think maybe those people would like to know about that. And there are a lot of them. Dozens of people had their names. Also, I would even argue this is a horrible thought to think, but you know, the registries are meant for information. They're not meant to harm. You can't use them to harm people. So as gross as those people are, maybe she could get in a slap fight with a bunch of monsters, you know, monster v monster. Hey, have at it, have fun, you know. Anyway, I do not hate you though, whatever. Life is truly hard. None of us are perfect. I apologize for ever judging you. I was wrong for that. All this bullshit about I was bullied, I judge you, screw you. If you ever want a true friend, what crap. I'm here if you ever want a true friend, because I believe we are all connected through God. I'm sure he's like, yeah, you know what? That's the friend I want. We all come from the same place and we will all die the same. I would take that from her as a threat, by the way. I realize you could take that as a casual statement, but for her talking about death as crazy as she freaking has been, I would take anything that comes out of her mouth like that as a threat. I'm just saying, you can take it as innocuous as you want, but after I've heard about hitmen and feeding people to gazers and stuff, I take everything at its worst, you know, because these people have proven that they are their worst. They are their worst impulses. They are the worst indicators of self. So none of us have monetarily is coming with us. Talking about it, I mean, well, I mean, if that's true, maybe he should just sue you then. No way to you, man. I guess he's going to. Again, I guess, you know, that's a big assumption on my part, but not really. He said, you know, it's not over till I win. Number one, he said that he's joining service because he's coming after us. So I'm taking all of that as, again, I don't think it's a hard jump to say he's going to sue. You know, if she doesn't do what he wants there. And maybe, I mean, maybe there's not a freaking offer at all. You know, when I talk about what I want or something, I'm not speaking for anyone else. I'm saying what I want. Because she, like I said, she thinks she could just add people, damage, and then she wanted to hurt one party. But she wanted to, you know, do all of this to intimidate too. I'm sure there are certain people that wanted her to do that as well. I'd also like to know a little bit about our ecosystem pals, not just, I mean, 2L, okay, but I'd like to know about other people. Like I said, I'm curious about why she refers to a certain person by their first name only, even in documentation. It's weird. But please know, it was all sincere, though. I wrote you something nice from my heart about being God's child. Goodbye, because I tend to vanish at times like this. I just know that I'm upset with many involved in this, even some who you are against. Huh. I wonder if that included Volpe, huh? Now, there was a statement that Jeremy put out yesterday that I had missed at first. Now, I asked him about this. You know, I caught part of it, but I didn't catch the whole thing yesterday. So check this out. I actually missed in comments. You know, he put out this again. He put out the "It's not over until I win." That's what I was discussing there. You know, when we talked about the main post itself, where he noted in regard to a recent lawsuit being voluntarily dismissed. I asked him about this part too, and the individual being threatened by the flea, copyright pending. That quote: "If she doesn't show up on the live, there will be consequences." No one is on vacation. The clock is ticking. Then when you go through the comments here, I noticed, again, you can go through and you'll see a little icon if the person themselves comments. So you can see, you know, all the likes and stuff. But there was a comment. I was like, huh. So I saw Linda here. Linda actually asked, hey, props, Linda, by the way. Hope you're doing okay. Said, she's on vacation, said Toothless Wally. And he answered and said, you know what? This is a walrus-sized lie. Lips blocked Fleesa because she wants nothing to do with her anymore. Now, that by itself is a huge statement. Wait, she blocked her too? Now, that's something else. You know, what that tells me, though, is it's more than just, I want to walk away. It's saying that, you know, in this game, this total, that you're not going to gather or garner anything anymore. You know, she's not going to make any more money. I wonder what promises. Again, maybe these are things that I'm sure Some of this will probably be discussed more. I'm pretty sure, you know, again, that's speculation. But as far as promises and stuff, I'm sure that there had to be promises made and not delivered for it to go this way. You know, because they make a lot of promises. I mean, you know that. You've seen the ecosystem. They make promises to everyone. They make promises to the people who watch. They, I'm sure, make promises to the people who they try to recruit. You know, we've seen a few of those. Now, a few of those have been things like, we're going to give you some kind of notoriety. We're going to give you a little bit of notoriety. We're going to get you some interviews. We're going to bring you on shows. This will be the biggest thing ever, you know. I'm curious how they shopped that to, not just to Volmont and to paint chips. You know, with them, I always wondered, is it money? Or is it the promise of something like exposure? Because the exposure hasn't come. It never has. You know, are they hoping for something on the back end of it? How does that work? But I'm also curious about the lips thing. How do you get them involved? But something, again, we saw it go sideways publicly. And since then, you notice everything fell apart after that Bruce stream. You know, they were trucking along. You had Lips doing a research and everything else. Then Bruce comes in and he talks to her like she's an absolute idiot. You know, he, like I said, the one thing in there, none of these people were particularly doing anything meaningful, in my opinion, but at least she was trying to read some of the stuff that was in filings. She came into that live stream prepped with at least points, you know, and again, not to belabor the point, but she at least was trying to do something with it. It was based on something. And when she did that, they talked to her like garbage. And if they're willing to talk like that openly on the microphone, how do you think it comes across in private? What do you think those private conversations are like? How do you think the private conversations with any of these people would be, especially if you disagree with them? Do you think Bruce would be a con person to disagree with? Do you think it'd be fun? Do you think it would be more than dismissive? Because I can only imagine how that would go. But the blocking. But instead, guess how we know? Hundreds of text messages. Now, the first time I read that, I guess I wasn't processing it correctly, because I kept thinking hundreds of messages to them, you know, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Standard fare, I know that she was writing and writing and writing. So to say that that this, you know, that there was no message, again, their last deflection point to say that Jeremy had written her and somehow violated something because he had a lawyer. Are you kidding me? Like I said, she had been writing him from go. She was writing him Fruit Loopy messages and stuff. But tomorrow's going to be something else, man. Now, I planned on pulling up the Shara stuff today, but I don't think I'm going to do that. You know, I think I'm going to show you a couple of things, and then I'm going to call it early tonight. I think this is plenty. I think it's a lot. It's a big, big thing today. You know, let me show you. I do want to cover the Shara. I just, like I said, it's an entire video, and it's worth covering. It's not worth just half-assing through. You know. Funny, I changed my stuff in the middle of, well, right before we went live, because I was like, oh my God, this is big breaking stuff here. This is crazy. So I was talking about this, by the way. Check some of these designs out. They're pretty funny. So it did, first of all, it did like a basic design. You know, we did like a replacement, a Hungry Hippos replacement. I was like, it looks like they're eating green peas. No. So put money in there. I like the little money ruse, you know. We need a cruise ship edition, you know. Instead of a little gaming table, they should be on like top of a water, and they should all have little sailor hats on. Oh my God. That would be it. We should do a 56K cruise line edition. Everything. I think we should do one for everything. I think I'll do that. I'll do a 56K cruise line edition of this. But look, it did some others. I was trying to change them. I was like, I thought some of them were pretty funny though. Like, look at these. Some of them were like, forget that chump change. I want some dollary dues. I thought this was funny too. So when I was messing around with AI to make give me 1 second to make the 1 minute. There was a dark version too, like they're playing in the dark. Let me pull this one up. But then there was one other. I like that. I like that with the Sherlock Holmes hat. That turtle looks like he's going to do a remix. Remix that money. But look at that one. It did a horror version of the Case of the Canadian Flea. Look, wow. They're throwing down. It looks like they got a battle royal going on. What's up with that? Oh my God, it's funny. Check my email. Let me see what the let me see. There's a few funny things in here. Give me 1 minute. Oh, man. That's funny. Loose lip sync ship. You want to see something? This is funny. This is a funny picture too. Let me download it real quick. I like to look and see what people send. Sometimes, if I have a moment, I will do it. You know, I always have to look at what's there beforehand. You know, that's why I don't play anything live. Because if you play something, you know, you can get kind of zapped for it too. So I'm careful about it. That's why I never play like any kind of video or song. You know, I did that one time in the past, and I was like, no, thank you. Never again. You know, some stuff came up. I was like, oh, that's not good. Not doing that again. Check this out. This is pretty funny. Check my email on that one. Look at that. Loose lips sink ships. Indeed. They do indeed. You know, Vomit is right about one thing, though. We can talk about anything we want with her. She can't sue us again. She's already exhausted that. See, she may think that she brought one lawsuit, but remember, she took us off the lawsuit and then she re-added us. So she's already screwed herself there. And she's had so many prior lawsuits for that she's just added and dropped. She's met the vexatious. In fact, you know what, Leslie? I want to get you labeled a vexatious litigant. That's what I really want. If I'm just going to talk openly, that's what I really would like. So beyond anything else, I would love to do that. So you don't ever do this to another person. That would be something for me personally that I would like. And under Florida law right now, if a court called you that, say bye-bye to anything you want to do anywhere else. You know, you've already, again, you managed to get the bar to park discipline against you, which is wrong, by the way. They should never have let you do that. Where you even have the ability to ever potentially come back and do stuff. That should never happen. Not after the bullshit you've pulled in the past. And then to make bar complaints and try to basically terrorize the people who complain about you. Are you kidding me? So I'd like you labeled as a vexatious litigant. If we go that way, that's one thing I would definitely push for because, yeah, I mean, you knew about it. We talked about it. We also said there would be consequences if you did this kind of stuff. And you did it anyway. It's again, I guess, it's so bizarre. Like they talk about how, again, like Jeremy, he's He's litigious. They always say that. They do. They complain about it all the time. Oh, he likes to sue. He likes to sue. But then you'd poke him and give him a reason to sue. It's so bizarre. I mean, after finding out that the Hodunk stuff came from her, I was like, holy God, man. I'll tell you this, like for all the other, this is how bad it is for Libs, by the way. For all the other people in the ecosystem, I still collect anything that they pull up because it is potentially damning, you know? Again, I'm not talking about them making fun of somebody or whatever. Who gives a shit about that? What I'm talking about is admissions or wrongdoing, you know, things that are court or potentially playable at court. For Lips, she gave so much that I stopped. I was like, man, I've got enough for a lifetime of lawsuits. You know, at first I was like, I'm going to pick up enough that any lawsuit that she tries to bring against me or brings against Megan. Well, first it was Jay. Anything that she brought against Jay, we would wreck. Then she brought the rest of us in. I was like, okay, well, we'll wreck that. Also, of course, you know, with Hale's in there as well. Like if there's one person, you know, if you wreck it for one person, you wreck it for everybody. But then I picked up enough to go after her. Because I was like, you know what? Screw this person. She can't do this to people. She cannot attack like that. And she also, here's the thing too. I would actually like to talk to, I'm curious, you know, since I was listed, you know, as far as this, I may reach out to counsel for Hales. I try not to, like I said, do that for anything, but for this lawsuit, they were counsel for the person that was listed in the lawsuit with me. So I want to see if there are options that are on the table that I'm not thinking about. And also on top of that, I'll see how motivated everybody is. Because I get the feeling everybody's very motivated. I know Jeremy is very motivated. You can hear it. But I want to see everyone. I think they motivated counsel and everyone else. I bet you money they have. And like I said, I know they motivated Megan, Jay. You know, I mean, Lord, you've heard everybody talking about it. Everybody's fired up. So I think it would also be a real good learning lesson for the ecosystem. Anybody that they dare try to recruit in the future who thinks they're going to just come in and try to set fire to somebody's life. You know, remember too, the thing that Lips wants to leave out, she also put her bullshit lawsuit into other stuff. This is something, man, Jeremy, I think somebody needs to remind him of, you know, I need to reach out and note this too. She put her lawsuit into the other lawsuits. They used it. In fact, 2L and all these other morons used it as part of their attack method. I demand not only a dismissal of that, but I demand an apology, and I demand that she admit that this was a bullshit lawsuit. She admit it. She will admit wrongdoing with it, or she will admit it through court. Because they used it. See, she's lying. In that letter she wrote, the thing that writes that off and says it's bullshit, she never meant animosity or try to hurt him. Really? Are you kidding me? You used it enough, and you were plotting. You know what proves the plot? When they go out and they go live and they're like, there was never a conspiracy with anyone. They had her filing 12 hours after it hit. They were filing something. Half a day they had something and they were filing. So right after she files, you have them go live with something. They put together 20 plus pages to file. And she was the way that it led. I think that needs to be noted to a court. You know, this person brought vexatious lawsuit. That was dropped. They are now being sued. I think that very much needs to be brought up. And if Lips doesn't want to fix that, if she doesn't want to make you that good, then that says that you have to sue her anyway. But I mean, she's lying about wanting to do damage. That 100% proves it. 100% proves this fucking conspiracy stuff. I mean, again, you look, they're lining up. And it also, to me, it gives a lot of credibility to the idea that there may have been threats. Hey, if you want to step out now, well then. And of course, I have no empathy for you, Lips, for that. You decided that you wanted to get in bed with these people, knowing who they are. You absolutely knew who you were dealing with old Vomit. You know who he is. You know who Paint Chips is. Hell, you search his name online, you find him. So you can't tell me through everybody talking about him and stuff, you didn't realize who these people were? Are you fucking kidding me? You sit around behind the scenes. They talk about what they want to do is burn this person's life down. And hey, they want to get even with these folks too. And you want to pretend that you were in on that. Holy God. You have got to be kidding me, man. Oh God. Let's hit super chats, man. Again, you know, I know we're ending earlier. I haven't really shielded or anything. Who cares, man? Tonight, it's a crazy one. So, damn, man. What's up, my brother? What's up, man? Hey, well, it's sad, dude. I didn't notice what it's about, but I'm glad to see you. You know, always remember something. When you're having a bad time or anything, you are definitely valued. You are, you know, 100%. 15 months though. Had a 1-year anniversary of my dad's passing a few days ago. It's been a rough one. Finished my bachelor's degree 2025. Said my dad was. Yeah, I felt that, man. You know, I do. I experienced that in my own life, my friend. I did. You know, one time for myself, I had not just the finishing of, like, you know, getting degree, then on top of that, you know, building myself up through work, but like YouTube. The people in my life, I wish they could have seen this. I wish they could see what was built there. You know, they could have sat there and enjoyed it, because I know for my stepdad, it would have been fun. I'd love to cut up with him every now and then. You know, he was hilarious. He was such a nut, you know. It would have been fun to mess with. I brought him on a show. Like, he would have been that much fun. You know, we'd have probably got an object lesson on it. He was like obsessed with Andy Griffith and all this stuff too. So, but it was really funny too. I'd love to break down a case for him and hear him talk about like the nonsense. Like, oh my God. So, man, I get that, man. But you know, in this, one of the things that you strive to remember, my friend, when you hit those milestones, and it's not easy at first. I don't know. I don't even know if it's ever easy, but you remember the celebration of, you know, what made that person impactful. It was their life, what they gave to you. And yeah, you miss it being there, but man, you know, you had it. And yeah, it sucks not to have it, but at the same time, you got to have it, period. You know, and you take all of that stuff and you kind of commemorate them. I put together a bunch of stuff that, you know, you remember the person all the time, but I put together like a bunch of positive memories, things that make me smile or laugh. And on those days that they're going to be particularly bad, and I know they're going to be painful, like that, I'll pull those out because I'm already going to be thinking about things. I'm already going to be like sad about something. So I pull those out and it reminds me, you know, yes, there was a positive there. But love to you, my friend. Love to you. You know, remember always that you got friends too, and you're appreciated. Max Lab. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. It has been a wild day. Like I said, I thought today was Char Day. I was like, oh man, we're on, you know. Oh, there's the rest of that. Hey, Ed, yeah, sad your dad didn't see you graduate. Thanks for love and laughs. Yeah, like I said, I understand that, man. I wanted to have you know, that the moment where, again, like all this stuff, it'd be amazing to have certain people just see it and celebrate it with me, you know? But like, who would have thought out of everything else, this would be the thing that's amazing and fun. I mean, other things are accomplishments for sure, but oh, this is so fun. Emma, thanks for the 5. I'm sick. I'm struggling, but I'm trying to stay awake for the whole stream. Well, I hope it was worth it, Emma. I hope you are good. I hope it makes you well. I hope it makes you better through some laughter. I get this sick. I hope it's nothing like bad there when you say sick. I've been struggling with the with everybody that I know is sick right now, because like in Tennessee, it's like that. It's bad up in your chest, up in your head. Ugh, it's just awful. I hope it's something like that. I hope you're doing okay. Fallen Hero. What's up, Fallen Hero? Thank you for that super sticker too. I appreciate you, my friend. It's good to see you. Always. Again, very much mean that. Man, and a membership too. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. That is awesome. Star, thanks for the 2 months. What we all been waiting for. Well, it's happening. Yes, indeed. They've all started Pac-Maning themselves. They've started turning. You know, when we talked about this stuff too, we talked. Hey, let me show you one other thing today, okay? Like what we're talking. Let me just show you one other thing. Like while we're in the middle of a conversation, I think this is important, right? So, give me 1 second here. Let me check something. 1 minute. What a bunch of idiots. Give me a second. I saw a message. I was checking it. I was making sure it wasn't something like breaking. Like in the middle of this, the way days go, I never know if something's going to break off, you know, or not. So I was reading messages, you know, for the last statements that Preston has put up, and a few of them really kind of stick with me. I hope people remember this. If they ever in the ecosystem, if they ever think that those folks, they won't turn on you in a freaking cocaine heartbeat, man. Look at like this one right here. Remember, even if they make good with each other, this is how people are always going to think. Do you enjoy slapping the people who were kind enough to send you money? I agree about that, by the way. You know, you shouldn't be garbage to them, but you need to be grateful. Be grateful. Which I see may be hard for you when the untruths you speak. So she's a liar with the untruth that you speak. So now remember, if I called a Preston a liar in the past, they told me I was part of a hate group. It's been one of the things that they've been having a lot of trouble with, you know. I also love the spelling. You know, may God have mercy on your soul, S-O-L-E, like the either we're talking about an orthopedic freaking deity, or that's a typo, one or the other. May God have mercy on your foot. You know, wait, what? No, I think you're talking about your. That made me laugh. You know, not to be an ass about it. I just thought that was funny. May God have mercy on your toes. That comes off as a threat, though. Man, folks, they got a point. I mean, like I said, I understand why they're mad and things. But how did this happen? Did it happen because they came to the realization that this person, like, maybe wasn't truthful? No, it's because 2L told them what to think. You are suckers. You're getting played, you know? And Lynette, if you don't realize this, I think Lynette realizes 100%. But I think they got enough dirt on each other. It's like right now, it's like both of them will go radioactive if they turn on each other. So I think they've been trying to hold back the flow and hope. Hope to God something doesn't pop off, you know? Yeah, oh, my foot. Look, here's more, though. Claiming you got this far on your own is quite the slap in the face to all this you took money from. I agree, man. Also, the barn is ugly. Damn. Damn. That's some cold-bloodedness. Your barn is ugly. You got to admit, that's pretty awesome. They are mad. They are mad. Well, oh, Lord. I mean, like I said, all it took was one live stream for these folks to go, we 100% support and love and care about you and your family, to you're garbage. It was never about you anyway. Huh. If it was never about you, then why were you asked to pay over $100,000, folks? You know, why were you putting in all this money? If it was never about them in any way. You just joined in with You Hate Jeremy Hale So Much group. That's bizarre, isn't it? You know, maybe you are the thing that that people have said. Maybe that's exactly what you've joined in with. Maybe that would give you a little pause and think about this, you know. Also, interestingly, as people pointed out about those pictures are from 2022. These things, these are years old. I did think that was a note worth adding to, you know. Look at this. Here's you another fun one. You know, funny how you claim the Jeremy Hales is not the reason you finished, because this is true too, Mark, by the way. It's a good one. I like it. You know, well, funny how you claim that Jeremy Hales is the reason it's not finished, but you ran out of money and were not able to finish because this nonsense started. You bit off more than you could chew. Now it's poor me. Get a damn job and a life like the rest of us. I was looking for someone to quote unquote help you. You know, somebody actually put together, this is crazy, by the way. So somebody put together a list of all of her requests for money, like all of her fundraising attempts and more. And I mean, it is newts, you know? It is absolutely newts. Loose Lips channel, huh? I'll have to look that up. Andre sent something over. I will look that up, brother. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I mean, it's crazy. Some people put in a lot of work too, you know, trying to make sure that people understand the point that is coming up. Man, I don't see it right off the bat. I'll have to find it. I'll pull it up for next stream. But somebody put together a list of, like I said, every fund, and it is crazy to look at, because when you put them all in like one chain, holy God. Andre, though, thanks for the 2. The 6,000 most likely is in mostly in Deuce's pocket. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know what happened with that. I know that they transferred it, but it is crazy. Like, why does this person cost $6,000? What have they done in this case that would make them worth that? That's the way I look at it, you know? Also, after the Stark incident, I always look at, why this specific person, you know? Why did they choose them? Stark was chosen for a purpose. So why this guy? It's always a, you know, oh my God. You want to see something else that's crazy real fast? There was a conversation that was absolutely wild. It was between, it said a lot more than I think it was supposed to. This is a conversation between Marla and between someone else. Check this out. Check this out here. So the funding for the barn was an only me and only me project only. It was never something the community was raising money for. Marla even corrects that and was like, nope, that's not correct. People started throwing money at Lisa for the barn dominium soon after Christmas. When? Well, early in the year. I was in the chat, never saw or heard of it. Well, he finished a goal as a surprise. Finished. He finished that goal, huh? Isn't that wild? He finished that up there. Huh. He finished a goal, which was a surprise. I remember how surprised 2L was when donated enough money to finish the goal she had set. Huh. So not only that should be enough to pay for the entire project because the goal was hit. Huh. What an admission. What an own. There was indeed. There was fundraising. There was a goal that was set. Wow. This is one of their head shields. And they're admitting that kind of stuff. Woo woo, baby. That's something, isn't it? I forgot all about that. Let's see. Teresa, what's up? Write a chick. Thank you for the gifted membership there. Thank you. I appreciate that much. Very much. Thank you. Fleecap.com. What is that? Let's see. Fleecap.com. Where does that go? Let's see. To just J-Hub. That's funny. So, J-Hub, somebody needs to tell him. Let's do this live, actually. Let's go over. Let's see. Where's Jay? He's live, right? Yeah, let's go harass him real fast. Let's see. I'm going to do it while I'm live. Let me give me 1 second. I'm gonna put this in here. I'm gonna pull him up on live stream. So you'll see his live stream here. Hey. Let's see. Go to, what is it? Fleecap? Yeah, fleecap.com. Hey, Jay. I'm live. Go to fleecap.com real quick. Live, LOL. Check it. Let's see what he has to say on it.
Who wants to hop in here?
See if we can notice it real fast.
Or whatever, but yeah, we have let me see. Miyagi's here, Lady T's here, Faves is here, Sweet Fly's here, maybe not.
Pay attention, sir. Hey, I saw Bruce got a membership over in his channel again.
What do we have? Taz is here. Chili.
Get that. Tell him to go to fleecap.com. Hey.
Looking to see if I'm missing anyone. Of course, probably a lot of people. I'm probably missing a lot of people. I'm just scrolling through. Bunson's here. Maybe not. Lady T.
I'm going to try this real quick. I'm going to try it one more time.
Robert Towers here. Hey, what's up here?
I'm going to read some more super chats until I get his attention.
Yo,
hey.
Fat Dad.
What's up, Maybe Not, by the way? Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Tammy Houston.
Oh my God. He needs his other people on with him even more than he realizes.
Calvin Stone is here.
Can I drop a link? Well, I can, but I want him to see it.
Let me see here.
I'm gonna go finish my super chat. Tell me if he goes.
Somebody said Tug's talk to me. I don't know. Tug's talk to me. Let me see.
Yes, go look.
I was rolling through the chat so fast that
I would call him. I'd be like, "Hey, fool!
Hang on, I missed this. It's Tug talking to me." Let me see.
Jeremy showed a history before in Northport. Yeah, we'll start.
Hey, go to fleecap.com. Check it out. Oh boy,
do it.
I'm going to do that. Go to
by typing in here. Oh my God. Then I'm gonna stop hijacking his stuff. By the way, you should go over and check him out. It's a redirect.
That's pretty good. Thanks, Tug. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Let me. Somebody tell him that was. By the way, tell him it was a cynic.
Now I got to pull that up. Hang on.
It's Cynic in Chief that did it.
Here in the share screen.
Yeah. It's a redirect, though. So what it does with the redirect, it takes you back over to Jay's channel. So fleecap.com is a redirect. That's hilarious, man. That's Cynic in Chief. It has done that. That's what I'm saying. Like Lips tried to do all this stupid and harass people with things, like that. And I was like, there's been somebody who's done this a lot better because they don't use it as harassment. It's just a joke in of itself, just a redirect over to something that's kind of fun. It doesn't redirect you to something horrible. It puts you like on somebody's channel or whatever. So Cynic has done that for a while. Like that was his thing. And to see Lips go in and try to do that and not do it well, by the way, that really kind of irritated me. I was like, man, he's not that. He's established that. So no, thank you. But maybe not. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, maybe not. Appreciate you. Appreciate the laugh out of it all the time too. Thank you, maybe not. 100%. Emma, thanks for the 2. Those Canadian fleas are huge. Indeed, man. You got to watch out because then they get on you. Woo, my God. They are kind of heavy. They are walrus-like. What the tusk? Willie, what's up, Willie? How you doing? Good to see your Muppet self. I love it, man. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships too. I'm always glad to have you here, Willie. Appreciate you, brother. Sister Sal. What's up, Sister Sal? Oh, I love, like I said, I love all of those Muppets. They make me feel happy. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. So many thousands of Muppets makes me so happy there. You know, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, Sister Sal. That is much appreciated. Thank you. Doubting Thomas, thanks for the 10 there. Lips proved to be poor judge of a mark is LMNOP, BBB, and the rest of them. She thought she could attack and everyone is simply buckle. Wrong. Yeah, she probably thought that Jeremy Hale's best case scenario, she thought he was an easy way to elevate herself to fame and fortune. She kept talking about wanting a Netflix show and all this other bullshit. She thought she would be able to get Jeremy Hales to give her that. But I also think these people thought he would be an easy payday. You know, they thought he would roll over and he would pay because they wouldn't be worth the trouble. There are a lot of people, I think, that think they are like that. They think that, you know, again, people would just pay them off because it's easier to pay off some kind of weirdo than to deal with them. You know, you see these kind of scams in real life. It's kind of a virtual version of real life shakedowns. The only problem is they picked a guy that Jeremy Hales is the last dude I want to try to shake down because he is not cooperative. And you know, when I say shakedown, there is a shakedown artist in there. I hate to call him, I say artist loosely, but you know, that's the word they use, but there really is one. You know, and we're talking about one that is known in the ecosystem for sure. You know, they have it credited on their resume. So, you know, if they're like, oh, we never do anything. Yeah, right. You know, you brought in somebody as part of that. Maybe not. What's up? Hey, happy birthday to Janet and to Trevor. Man, we got to bust out I've never done a double. I'm going to do a double celebration first. I'm going to do short arm and then I'm going to do song. Okay. I think that's the only way to do a double. First, we do a happy birthday. Yeah, from all of us to you, baby. Happy birthday. Short arms, make your dreams come true. Yeah, that's right. They're magic. You didn't know that, did you? Yes, that's right. If you get that avatar dancing for you, all your dreams will come true. I hope anyway. Here's the song. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Get it in
From both of us to you, baby. Happy birthday.
May all those dreams come true. Yeah. Wish you could see it dance. It's terrible. Happy birthday.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday.
Here's to another year. Oh, yeah. I love it. That's good time. That's some fun times, man. Oh, man, I forgot to tell you all today, too. So, first of all, happy birthday to all of you. You, too, you have a great one, and thank you, maybe not, for pointing that out as well. You know, today, I was getting up, the little one likes to sit with me, you know, where she sits, you know, she's 5. She likes to be around and sit with a parent or, you know, like be around you all the time, right? Which is fine, you know. So we were watching TV, we were sitting down, and she had sat down, and I got up, and she ended up almost tripping me, and I ended up, I think, breaking one of my toes. My little one, I've done that to a few times. It's like it's cursed some days. But one of the other toes on there, I don't know if you could dislocate it or what. I mean, it has it bruised up like the last time I broke my little one. But you know how your toes are stationary, they sit. It was pointing upward. I was like, oh my God. It did not feel good. I popped it back down, you know, and got it back where it's supposed to be. It hasn't swollen up like crazy, so I'm hoping, you know, I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's not like the last time I broke one of those little ones. Oh, but I was like, oh my God, what a day. I was not happy at all. You know, it was an accident, dude. She got on her foot. Yeah, but I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm not like 5. I'm also very tall. If I eat it, you know, I'm old, I'll break. And on top of that, there's a lot of me to fall, you know. I don't want to fall on her either. Liquid Mama, thanks for the 10 there. I found a 6/10/2025 article behind legal site's paywall. Law 360 says Doritos was sanctioned. I can't read past what it shows. It looks like a lips work. I imagine him tied up like miseries. Shoot me a link to that if you would. Send it my email. It's a great, you know, if for some reason don't remember whatever, just granularheaven@gmail.com. I'll see about getting that. Thank you too. I'm curious about it too, about sanctions. They're, you know, maybe I've seen it. I don't know. There was something new that's come up, by the way. So I'm not sure the outcome, but we've been waiting to find out something with that. Willie, thanks for the 10 there. I'm waiting. Oh, yeah. By the way, that bankruptcy lawyer. I'd like to know what happened to him. You know, I'd like to know what went on with him, too. Willie, thanks for that 10 there. Appreciate it. I'm waiting for one of the anti-Hales switch to pro-Hales and publicly spill all the dirty laundry. It's going to happen. I'm sure of it. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know, you had people, you think about it this way, like Shara, I would say she was in their camp for sure, you know, grabbing information and stuff for the longest time. But she got enough doses of them to figure out who they were. And look at what she came away with. If any of you are ever curious about what these folks that they did. I mean, remember, one of the things that never gets brought up, for example, like Shara's introduction, one of the first things that was told to her, and the police were called about, was that Jeremy Hale, supposedly, this was according to them, was part of a plot. He was going to take down an elected official. He was going to take them out with other people, and they were going to that person. I mean, think about that. Just stuff like that. And then she talked about the hitman and all of it. I mean, again, with so much madness and chaos that's come up, it's easy to forget like her role. I mean, that is a huge one. You talk about an insane chapter. But you're right, Willie. You know, I wonder, somebody has to keep them in line. That's why the threat thing makes sense to me too. You know? I mean, you can't, you see people that are bowing out, even now. How do you keep them in line? Again, you can't build something off of just hating people and expect it to keep working. You know, if the only motivator is that you're disgruntled about this one person, and on top of that, I believe that you have scammers and other even worse people that have come in. I'm not saying every one of them is by chance, but I am saying that there are. And when you get all of that, what ties people like that together? Nothing after a while. You know, their own self-interest will will out, or, you know, they find out, oh my God, like maybe these people, like I heard, you know, some of them, they were like, well, I got involved because I hate blah, blah, blah. Well, just because you hate one person doesn't mean the people that hate him too are great people, you know? Again, the enemy of my enemy, that only works in war law for a short term, the enemy of my enemy. I mean, when you look at actual warfare, how long does that work out for you? What keeps that enemy from turning on you? And can you trust them? Maybe somebody that's been jilted by another person, maybe that is a great uniter for a couple of people. Maybe for, one or two folks, hey. But again, just because you don't like something, that kind of commonality, that's not a good motivator into it. Ugh. But you're right. I think, Willie, I think so. Emmy, thanks for the 10 there. Sorry, coming in late. Must be good for YouTube. Yeah, hey, appreciate you being here at all. I don't know. I didn't put up my notification until late, too. We got another Wheat Toast coming in late. Going to be on the replay clear, but here's a gifted membership for fellow Tugs. Thank you, Wheat Toast. Appreciate you, my friend. You actually, I do appreciate you. You drop that gifted membership too. Check it out. So that and a gifted membership. That is awesome, dude. Thank you. Hey, B, it's my 1 year birth anniversary. I love it. I love it. Birth anniversary. I love being at Tugs. The man, Aussie Wombat. I love having you here, bud. I love the name. It sticks out in my mind all the time. I even had a conversation with the kids about what a wombat was the other day, which was really funny. It was educational. I had no idea what a wombat was. I was like, oh, yeah, wombats are cool, man. I got to check this out. So that's awesome. But yes, thank you for being here a year and going. Again, what a ride too, right? I mean, we have stuff, like I said, today, I had a totally different thing planned for today. I did not plan on talking about what we were going with. I thought it would be much easier to talk to, like I said, with Jeremy. Instead of giving you something secondhand, I thought, first of all, I really do want to say for people to watch the show tomorrow, my God, because well, it was like, I'll answer a couple of things, but it was like, dude, just come on now. Let's, talk about it for a couple minutes. And, to note that too, I like I don't, with the exception of Megan, usually with people, I only just to make this clear too, like people can come on if there's something breaking or whatever, especially if it's about them. I typically will ask them, but Hale's been pretty good about like answering whatever like that, like just bam, he answers anything. That's one of the things that really it showed me like how the ecosystem is or isn't. I think I've spent enough time to know who they are by now, but if you really want an indicator, if I ask him, I can usually get a reply decently quick, but it's always like I don't think there's ever been a subject. The only thing he said, again, that he would not want to talk about would be money. And understand that. I've always respected that because I don't talk about channel money. I think that's something that's not business there. Again, we are not talking about running fundraisers, although it's really funny too. So I heard them talking in the ecosystem about how they want to somehow unmask what we make on our channels. And I'm like, we don't run fundraisers, dipshit. We didn't say we were going to build on a supposedly indigent, elderly, poor, 100% innocent, never lie, greatest people ever. Now they're talking about tossing them off cruise liners. Are you talking? What the what? Jax, what's up, Jax? How you doing? Thank you for 3 months there. And I'm in New Zealand. Well, that's awesome there. What time is it there, by the way? I'm curious if you're still here. I'm curious what time it is in New Zealand. The time zones are it's so, I don't know, it's interesting trying to get it in my head with that. But they appreciate you and greetings from Tennessee. That's one thing I love about the internet too. We can talk about something and we can make a difference worldwide, Emma, thanks for the fun there. Oh, it's just the flu recall. Good, thank you. I'm glad. I mean, I'm not wishing the flu on you, but you know what I mean. You know, cough, snotty, zero energy, achy, tired. Like half of Australia. Yeah, stupid winter. I'll go back to bed. So see, so here it's the same. It's so bizarre for different reasons, though. Everybody gets sick. So half of Australia, like you said, around there, everybody's sick. Everybody's sick here because of seasonal change. It's the pollination and stuff. The humidity along with the pollen. I'm telling you, like Tennessee, it is like a sickness factory. It's awful. You know, it is. Thank you, Mary, by the way. I appreciate that. Awesome stream. Thank you. I mean, I took it on the flight, you know. I was like, well, let's go that way. Jax also, thank you for the $8.99 there. Watching fall has to be so worth the wait. And it's been great so far. I mean, Preston, she's still, I believe when I see her come out with a video talking about anything, but just her saying anything, period. And then reacting the way they did. There's no way to put that back in. They can. I don't think they'll ever try to play nice again. It's gone on for days. It's gone on long enough that the animosity and contempt that it breeds, you can never wash it away from your audience. So the audience is on to it. The money is dried up. How are they going to go through all these plans that they were, you know, all this stuff where they said they were going to, you know, use her to sue Hales and they're going to do this or that with the kid. How does anybody trust them? You know, how do they trust them with lawyer money or anything? So yeah, you're right. It's good stuff, isn't it? Jags also dropped a gift dome there too. Thank you for that as well. Much appreciated. Love that. Going out to people. Like I said, that is my favorite feature on this app. Thank you. Julie dropped a 5 there. There's not a statement, but as I said many times, that in and of itself is a huge statement because it is backing the channel. Thank you. Wishful She-Devil, thanks for the 11 months there. Dislocated my little toe years ago. Ended up having it operated on to put it in place. Ouch, yes, it sucks. I've never had to have one operated on. My little one, I've got like a metal banister that goes down some steps, you know, from where the bedrooms are. It goes down to the floor level. And I was walking down it one day and the carpet, you know, my littlest one likes to slide on her butt down the steps, you know, and she does it all the time. And, you know, that makes carpet slick. If people slide on the carpet, it makes it flat and slick. So I slipped. And when I slipped on it, my foot slipped forward, but my little toe caught the banister, the metal, and it stayed. So my right foot was forward and my little toe was pointing right from my body. And God, it hurt. It hurt a lot. Now I've broken my toe. I've broken a bunch of stuff. I've broken fingers and god awful fashions. It's all kinds of stuff. I've broken my right arm twice when I was a kid. I've had a couple of nails go through my feet. And I didn't know you could have a nail go so far into your foot. I know, that was wild. And it not do like really bad damage. I can feel it on the bottom of my foot still, but considering what I did. But yeah, it's all sucks, Visual She-Devil. But pins, I've never had to have pins or anything. Knock on synthetic wood, I suppose. Jack Small, thanks for the 5. You would think after Shara sharing everything, they would learn how to put stuff in writing. Morons. Indeed. But, you know, the problem they have is, even if they don't put it in writing, like somebody like Lips, I would never trust, you know? Her, you could tell, like, that she's the type of person that would document everything. You know, I mean, if somebody was trying to get me involved in a conspiracy, I'd probably document everything too. You know, I can't imagine. It's hard to try to be like, if I were like that, because I can't really think like that. You know what I mean? It's hard to put yourself in the position of somebody, but you know what I'm saying? If I were dealing with that kind of person, like I know if I were dealing with them for anything, business or anything, I would definitely document the hell out of everything if I had to deal with them for something. So if I were dealing with something that might potentially get me in trouble or open me up for criminal liability, oh yeah, I'd keep enough to feed somebody else that, you know? There's no way I would go down for the fleas and all these people. There's no way. And I doubt many of them would, you know? Jack, thanks for the 9 months. Need a night detailing the nightmare of lies of Lynette from Iowa, Germany. Oh, yeah, Germany, baby. Wow, wow, wow. Germany's something else. I went through that. That's crazy. You know who really knows that part of it? Megan. She's one to note that too for show. She's like remembers all of that much better than I think almost anybody does. It's kind of wild. Wait, what's this? Huh. Oh, I'm gonna have to look at it. There's another document. That looks good. I'll have to check that out. There's another crazy document in my email. Dan, thanks for the 5. Did anyone see? Found 7 girls from the worship camp alive. I didn't, but that's good news after all the horror. Man, God, Dan, that situation is so awful. You know, some of the people reactions to that was awful. I saw people because of like politics and other things, like saying some of the worst things ever. I was like, man, these are kids, dude. This is a terrible situation. You know, why would you ever do that? And I'm glad there's some positive news, you know, in that awful situation. Hazel Monty, thanks for the 6 months. Toad, please check email regarding coloring book. Okay, I'll check it out. I'm a little behind on emails too. I apologize. I got where I've been sick. You know, like I said, a different health problem, but Lord, with the sinus stuff, and it's like, oh my God. I've just been trying to, if I get a minute, I've been setting and trying to, you know, set my head back and I just get everything to clear, you know. What's up, Angela, by the way? Dropped 25 there through PayPal. Thank you. That is beyond awesome of you. I appreciate that. That I'm going to get. I think I'm going to get a book with. I need a brand new book. Somebody gifted for a book the other day. I've already knocked it out. So I'm going to get another book. So I think that'll be great. And Cheryl also dropped 5 there for I'm entertained. Indeed, I am entertained as well. Oh, man. All right. Tonight is wide open, by the way. If you want, again, Flashcast is live. I would do a redirect, but this week I'm going to call it here. I need to go and rest my head. It feels like it's going to blow up. Flashcast is live. Like I said, it's always fun to keep up with. Jay's live, watching all the crazy, you know. There's a lot going on, but tomorrow will be off the chain. So again, tell everybody tomorrow for Hales will be one for the books. You will definitely want to see. And the damage control I'm curious about too. I'll be watching the Clippers tomorrow. Oh, by the way, thank you too for the 6 months. Yeah. Oh, wait, I did get that one. I thought it rolled back on me. I'm sorry. I thought that was a new one. It showed up, but then disappeared and then showed up again. That was very weird. All right. But anyway, I appreciate you and I will see you. Thank you.